Today on the Chemist DIY, we're going to be installing the TruGlow Tritium night sights on my Smith & Wesson SD9VE using the Knine outdoor sight pusher purchased off of Amazon. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so in my last video I did an Amazon product review on two similar but very different laser bore sighting tools, and if you didn't happen to catch that video, you can go ahead and capture it right here up on this card. But I went ahead and discussed the Eco 9mm bore sighting round, a laser sighting or sighting tool chambered in a 9mm for my SD9. I also discussed another laser bore sighting tool purchased off of Amazon in this form factor. And if you didn't happen to catch that video, like I said, go ahead and check that out. There's some information in there that you need to know before purchasing yourself this type of laser bore sighting tools. Alright, so getting back on topic, I'm extremely excited to install my TruGlow Tritium night sights on my Smith & Wesson SD9VE. Now, in order to prepare for this installation, I went ahead and purchased me a sight pushing tool. This is the Knine outdoor sight pusher purchased off of Amazon. So we're going to be doing a small product review as well as an installation. And then we're going to be following up by sighting in our iron sights, making sure everything is aligned correctly with one of these Amazon bore sighting tools. Alright, so pushing aside our other products, let's go ahead and unbox this bad boy. Now, what we have inside here is an instruction set here. Seems to be very thorough just on the outside. Inside packaging, this product seems to be packaged very well. Look how thick this foam is, man. Alright, taking a look at the actual product itself in the box. What we have here is the Knine or K9 sight pushing tool. I really don't know how to pronounce this, but it's K with a 9. In here we get a set of screws, nuts and bolts, and some Allen keys or Allen wrenches to make modifications and changes. Taking out the product and giving you a first view of this, man, this product has some weight to it. Now, I went ahead and did a whole bunch of Amazon product reviews, and a lot of the reviews for the many cheaper products out there, they were complaining about the actually pushing tool snapping or breaking on them. So I wanted to make sure that I purchased me a quality product. Now this came in at roughly about 80 bucks, which is not bad for a product of this quality. I mean, this is really nice. It's really solid. It's made of full aluminum, and it does have some weight to it. So one thing I did want to mention is the fact that this sight pushing tool is actually universal. So it's going to work with your Glocks, your Smith & Wessons, your SIGs, or what have you. Now, since my SD9 has a more sharper angle here when it comes to the sight, I'm going to go ahead and use this side of the pushing tool. Now, if I had a Glock, for you Glock fanboys out there, what we would do is we go ahead and remove these two screws right here, flip it around, and now we have a nice soft 45 edge here. Alright, so enough about the tool, let's get to business. Alright guys, so I went ahead and fill stripped my SD9, and what you're looking at is the slide. Now, the manual or directions recommend that you go ahead and you tape up the sides of your slide as to protect the finish. Now you have to remember that we're working with metal upon metal, and it's real easy to scuff the finish of your slide. So that's one important factor that you're going to go ahead and have to do. Additionally, if you can see this, I went ahead and provided some dots for me here so that as I'm pushing the sight through, I can get a general accurate account of where I need that dot to be. So I've done the same for the tip as well. I'm not sure if you can quite see that either, but there's a dot there that actually referenced the dot on the front of the iron sight. So we're going to go ahead and open this up real quick. And insert our slide. I'm going to put this aside for a minute and talk a little bit about this. Now inside here we have reference lines, and this is to line up our slide directly dead center here. And these are your adjustment screws to provide your left and right angles. So we're going to go ahead and slide this in here, and as best we can. And from what I'm seeing, I'm not sure if you can quite see it on camera, but I'm actually looking at the second line right here on both sides. And we're going to try and get this lined up as best as possible here. Alright, now with the blue tape, it's a lot easier to differentiate between the actual edges of the slide as opposed to the pusher, or the bottom portion of the pusher. Alright, so when you're tightening these down, you really don't want to crank them down too hard. We don't want to bend in the slide. Just a nice tight snug fit. Make sure it's flat. Okay, so let me try and give you a better up close angle here. And what I'm looking at here is the lines in here, and you can see that we have two lines, and the edge of the slide on this side lines up perfectly to that second line down in there, and you can see that right here. Okay, and right there. Alright, so as long as we get one side completely lined up, we're good to go. Now we're going to have to loosen it because we need to adjust this for the top portion. Okay, so moving forward with installing the top portion to the base, we're going to make sure that we give ourselves a little clearance here and bring this down. This is the actual rest that sits on top of your slide and is responsible for giving us our clearance between the pusher and your sight. All right. Now what I'm checking for right here is to see how far this slide needs to be slide in and out in order to give us the best push evenly. And once you feel you have it lined up, and you are high enough as not to scratch your slide, we can go ahead and tighten everything up. If everything looks good, we can go ahead and start pushing. Now, Gunsmithing 101 states that to remove your sights, you're going to push from right to left, and to install, it's going to be left to right, the actual opposite. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our TruGlow Tritium night sight out here. And if your sight comes with an Allen screw, you're going to make sure you want to back that out before installation. So we're going to go ahead and put this in here and get it started, like so. And let's put this aside. And let's go ahead and add the top portion to our base. See if we can get everything lined up. Okay, so now that we have everything snug down and adjusted, let's go ahead and push it in the opposite direction. And make sure that it's not coming in contact with our slide. All right, we'll pause and take a look at how things are going. And this is a workout. All right, now as I'm getting closer, let's slow down a little bit. Do little small incremental turns until I line up them dots with my markings. All right, let's take a look. All right, taking a close-up view, I think we got it pretty much dead on to my markings. Take a look at the top half. I have a little too much on this side and not enough on this side, so I'm going to have to push it this way a little bit. It went a little bit too far. Okay, so we're all finished up with our rear sight, and I went ahead and tightened down the grub screw, or the set screw, to hold things in place, and we're going to go ahead and move forward with removing the front sight. Okay, so since this one was a little bit tough to remove, I'm thinking it's going to be a little bit harder to get on. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and use some spray lube and see if that kind of helps ease the sliding process. I'm just spraying a little bit on my finger and applying it to the slide. Okay. And let's go ahead and position our iron sight in place. Gently sliding it in. Let's go ahead and add the top portion of the carriage. Alright, everything seems to be lined up. We'll go ahead and place on our top nuts. Now it's going to be really difficult to see your dot or your marking that you made on the opposite side. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is put that marking on this side and see if I can get myself close to dead center. The lubricant is making things a whole lot easier. This is actually sliding a lot better than in the removal process. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and release the pressure real quick and see where we're at. And as you can see, that center dot is pretty much aligned with the marking that I had first made. Alright guys, so I'm back at my makeshift sighting table after the installation of the Tritium night glow sights. Now you're taking a look down the sight picture of my SD9VE and the distance from the wall in front of you, which has a piece of blue tape marked out for my sight alignment, is roughly about 20 feet away. And taking a look down the sight picture, you can see that red dot sits right above and in dead center of the front iron sight, as it should. Now I just want to make mention to those of you out there looking for Tritium glow night sights for the SD9VE, and on the product description and actually on the product packaging of the Amazon site, it specifically says it does not work with this model handgun. Now this is the California version handgun, and I just want to confirm that the Tritium glow night sights do actually fit on this model gun, even though it specifically states it's only for the SD9 and not the SD9VE. Now, for those of you who are new to sighting in your own iron sights, you don't actually need to purchase a laser bore sighting tool to get an accurate account of your sight picture. I mean, this is just me being anal about things and wanting to get as close as possible without having to go to the range and sight it in at the range. This would be a lot more difficult and a lot more expensive since you have to actually waste ammo, and this is all dependent on your skill at shooting as well. And with that said, guys, that's going to bring this video to a close. I hope you found some value in what I brought here to you today. If you did, go ahead and smash that thumbs up button and don't forget to subscribe. In my next video, I'm going to be installing the Highlight Enforcer Series Blue Laser Flashlight Combo, and we're also going to be using the laser Amazon bore sighting tool to get that properly aligned. And as always, I'm the chemist, and I'll see you next problem.